This is probably one of the most impressive reptiles we could have possibly found here in Southeast Asia.
On the forest floor in the Thai rainforest, evolution produced nature's perfect assassin. Slinking between the fallen leaves, a banded snake silently stalks some of the most dangerous prey on Earth. Humans rarely see this snake, but when they do, the results can be deadly. And the scariest part of this snake's bite is you're dead before you even know what bit you. To find out why this striking-looking snake has developed one of the strongest snake venoms in the world, I've traveled to southern Thailand. And the ways the Malayan krait pushes snake biology to the absolute limit will change how you see venomous snakes forever. But how do we know we're looking at one of these deadly reptiles in the first place?
Look at the patterning there. I absolutely love these banded snakes. And the Malayan krait has this gorgeous, bright white and jet black alternating bands. We have snakes back home in the US, king snakes, that look kind of like this and are totally harmless. So it's one of those things where going off the pattern alone is maybe not the best bet. We've also seen lots of little wolf snakes that have a banding similar to this snake. So how do you know if you're looking at this incredibly dangerous elapid? And the answer is, notice the top of his body, that line that goes all the way down his body, kind of a triangular body shape. Now it's funny because we also hear a lot of times back in the US that a triangular head means it's venomous, but he doesn't have a triangular head. He does have a triangular body, and in Asia, a triangular body does oftentimes mean you're looking at a venomous snake.
The Malayan krait belongs to the family Elapidae, one of the most diverse snake families on Earth. It's also home to many of the world's most venomous snakes. The taipans from Australia, the mambas of Africa, the banded sea kraits that hunt eels in the ocean, and these terrestrial kraits are all elapid snakes. In parts of Asia, kraits are responsible for among the most human deaths of any snakes in the world. Here in southern Thailand, where I'm studying many of these obscure venomous creatures, reporting isn't as great, so it's hard to say how many lives are claimed by this krait every year. But these secretive snakes are generally hard to come by. They live a semi-fossorial lifestyle, hiding in the deep layers of leaf litter that line the forest floor. Most people will go their whole lives without ever seeing the striking black and white bands of this reptile, and we were only lucky enough to come across this one foraging near a rainforest stream.
Honestly, doesn't even look like an elapid. His behavior is kind of like a bigger, slower coral snake, but the head almost looks like a typical fossorial thing. It's got small little eyes, nothing super defined about its head characteristics, but sure enough, this creature is packing a potent chemical secret.
We actually have a way of measuring how potent a venom is. We measure venom toxicity in terms of lethal dose, how much of the venom it takes to kill something, where the lower the number, the less venom it takes to kill you, meaning it's a stronger venom. We can actually use systems like this to rank venomous creatures against each other. It's how we know what the most venomous animals are. The Malayan krait comes in at a score of 0.12. This is a tiny number, and it basically means that it takes 0.12 milligrams of this snake's venom per kilogram of body mass of whatever it's biting to kill it. So for example, I weigh about 95 kilograms. At this venom potency, it would take just over 11 milligrams of venom to kill me. That's the size of a grain of table salt. That is a tiny amount of venom, which ranks the Malayan krait among the most venomous land snakes on Earth, and actually earns it the title of the most venomous snake in all of Asia.
This snake has a potent neurotoxin, and how it works is it basically shuts off the nerves of the things that it's eating, turning off their body like a light switch.
The strangest thing about the Malayan krait's bite is that it's effectively painless. This is what makes the snake so dangerous. Their teeth are tiny, so you might not even realize that you were bitten by something, and yet the bite of this snake is among the worst in Southeast Asia. The venom is slow acting, so it might be hours before you even realize something's happened, and it starts with you beginning to lose motor control of your body. Your limbs start to feel a little weak, your face starts to droop, and this progressive paralysis eventually ends with you losing the ability to breathe and suffocating in your own body. What's happening is the neurotoxin of the krait is basically interfering with your nerve's ability to send signals. It's almost like you were going through the house and turning off the lights. The difference is, when you turn off the lights in your body, you can no longer do all the functions that you need to live. Antivenom for these snakes exists, but because their venom is so potent, and because they tend to lurk way out in remote areas, the likelihood that you're going to get prompt treatment and actually know what bit you with enough time to get that vital antivenom is very low. People survive bites from kraits, but you don't always come back fully from a krait bite. These things are basically like a stroke in snake form. Sometimes the paralysis and loss of motor function can be permanent after receiving a bite from one of these incredibly venomous snakes.
Now these snakes are absolutely insane because what they're hunting is other snakes, and oftentimes other venomous snakes. Yeah, this right here is a snake eater, one of the top dogs in this entire ecosystem, and that comes with the necessity for a really powerful venom. But for the most part, this snake is semi-fossorial, hunting in the top layer of like dead leaves and detritus, and hiding for most of the day in crevices, coming out only at night to hunt for sleeping cobras and other venomous snakes that are in this tropical rainforest.
It's the dead of night. The Thai rainforest comes alive with creeping creatures. Giant spiders dart over the bark of trees, and alien-looking insects graze on the fungi on the forest floor. But this otherworldly habitat has a dark secret. A banded pattern flashes through a gap in the leaf litter. A snake has emerged to hunt. These snakes are most famous for their tendency to hunt other venomous snakes, much like the king snakes we have back in the US. But the krait isn't a specialist. It will basically take down anything it can overpower, though it's typically hunting other cold-blooded animals. They like these humid habitats right alongside streams because there's tons of snakes, lizards, amphibians, and all these little creepy crawly things that they can choose from for a meal. Because these are fossorial, nocturnal creatures, they have eyes, but we don't think their vision's all that great. They understand their world through scent and vibration, and they get their scent from that forked tongue that they're constantly flicking out to gather information about their world. These snakes are amazingly receptive to chemicals in their environment. The slightest hints that prey items are nearby, they can pick up with that tongue. And you'll see these snakes just cruising around on the forest floor, just sniffing around, looking for things to eat. They can find these chemical trails, follow them to their source, and use that incredibly deadly bite to secure food in this complex tropical habitat. The krait doesn't need great vision in the rainforest understory. His tongue flicks over the humid ground, picking up trails of reptiles and amphibians that have foraged in the area. He detects a recent scent. There's prey nearby. The krait follows the trail to a rock wall. Whoever he's following is a subterranean dweller like him. He needs to be cautious. The snake searches down holes under the rocks. He's very close to his quarry. As he extends deep down a burrow, the scent gets stronger, and his tongue flicks across another cold-blooded animal. Bingo. With a sharp contraction of the muscles running down his body, he grabs a hold of his target and yanks it out of the ground. It's a violent affair. The force of his strike catapults him down into the ravine below, and we can see what he was hunting. A strange, worm-like creature. It's a Sicilian. They're legless, subterranean amphibians, closer to frogs and salamanders than the worms they look like. Rare to see in the wild, rarer still to see being devoured by a venomous snake. The Sicilian fights against the krait's paralyzing venom, but struggling only seals its fate. The krait works his venom in, chewing the amphibian to finish it off. It's all over in a matter of minutes. Catching his breath, the krait flexes his jaws to work the slimy creature into his stomach. The krait is one of the rainforest's top predators for a reason. He may not be ferocious, but when he decides to go for the kill, he is surgically precise.
Now, this snake is actually not terribly difficult to work with. Some of the elapids are extremely athletic, really powerful, muscular snakes, using that force and that power to kind of stand up and threat pose at you, whether it's the cobras, whether it's the brown snakes back in Australia, all these crazy snakes. But this one, can see, very, very easy to work with. I'm not saying you should work with kraits at home. That's still a very dangerous thing to do. But the reason these guys are so easy to work with is because there's not a lot of things that usually mess with them. This bright banded patterning is an aposematic warning. It tells everything to leave it alone. It's highly venomous. And over generations, the fact that this guy is such a toxic venom, the things that mess with the banded snake don't live to reproduce. This guy will kill you pretty quickly, and he has more than enough venom to kill me, Jesse, and Jack multiple times over. So even large predatory mammals and things could be killed by the venom of this snake. That means this coloration serves him really well. He doesn't need to hide. He can stand out, be super flamboyant, and most things will leave him be. It's only us humans that are crazy enough to try this. And for the most part, that has led to a very calm, very collected demeanor.
The snake is strong but gentle. He's likely confused and annoyed with this interaction more than anything. The top predator of the subterranean world of the rainforest is not used to being bothered by other animals, but the krait isn't keen on striking or biting. They're shy reptiles and will actually try to hide their head under their coils rather than resort to violence. Their instinct is to hide, retreat back under the leaf litter for cover. Despite having the most potent venom in this rainforest, the krait is not inclined to use it.
It's a decent-sized snake by American standards, but it's still a very small animal. I mean, this thing is super toxic, but I mean, look at the size of the snake compared to my boot. I could crush him, I could kill him in seconds. Even if he bit me, I could kill him long before the venom took effect. I am way more dangerous to the snake than he could ever be towards me. And you can even see right here, if I let him go, he just tries to crawl back off. This is not a snake that wants interaction with humans, but because we come into their habitat, because we build into the landscape that these call home, humans have conflict. In parts of Asia, relatives of this snake kill thousands of humans every single year. And it's not because they're mean or nasty, it's because we've literally invaded their home. And when you invade their home, conflict is bound to happen. But looking at this snake right here, learning its behavior, learning its coloration, learning where it lives and how to identify it can help us coexist.
The scariest thing about this snake is most of the encounters happen in people's sleep. These are nocturnal snakes that are hunting around after dark, not really relying on vision, and sometimes they will find their way into your house. In Southeast Asia, many homes will have lots of geckos and things living inside them. Reptiles, just like the rest of the stuff that these kraits are hunting. They might pick up the scent of a gecko, find their way in your house, and a common way people are bitten is they literally roll over on these snakes in their sleep. Yeah, the kraits will find their way into bed with you. Because the bite is mostly painless, a lot of people don't even realize anything happened, and it kills them in their sleep. You could step on this snake, think maybe you got scratched by a thorn, and go back to bed without realizing you've been envenomated by a highly toxic snake. But the pattern here is that when this snake causes problems, it's always on accident. They're extraordinarily venomous, but they're not looking for humans. We've kind of come looking for them unintentionally by building our civilization into their habitat. These rainforests were the snake's home long before they were home to humans. But the most important thing about this snake is it is literally one of the most placid venomous snakes you could come across. I wouldn't recommend that you go out and pick these snakes up or handle them, but many snake hunters do, simply because the krait is so uninclined to bite. These are secretive animals and prefer to hide or escape rather than stand their ground and attack. There are snakes like rattlesnakes and cobras that have charismatic defensive displays when they're cornered, and it's snakes like these that have kind of infused that fear into the discussion about venomous snakes. But most of them just want to get the heck out of our way and be left alone. The krait is a perfect example of that.
I absolutely love venomous snakes. They're super cool. There's something just really remarkable and special about these highly toxic creatures that you don't see with the non-venomous snakes. There's just a different air of elegance about them, and that is why they're absolutely exciting to see every single time, every single species, especially this beautiful krait here in Thailand. What a beauty. So we're gonna let him go right back into the night because he doesn't want to mess with us anymore, and he's been a real sweetheart. Look at that. Beautiful Malayan krait. We're gonna leave him to do his business and hunt snakes, and we're going to go hunt some more snakes of our own and see what else we can rustle up here in southern Thailand.
the krait disappears back into the depths of the Thai rainforest, off to go hunt more unfortunate cold-blooded creatures in its subterranean world. In these tropical environments, secrets like this snake lurk around every corner, with increasingly unusual animals hiding increasingly deadly survival strategies. Extreme adaptations like these are a product of extreme habitats. Only the best equipped animals survive, and this isn't unique to the rainforest. What if I told you that hidden in the deserts of Arizona, there were secret islands that were full of unique venomous creatures found nowhere else on Earth? I went on a journey into Arizona's Sky Islands to find the most venomous creatures that call these remote mountains home. If you want to see how those deadly animals stack up, check out this video right here. Hope to see you there, but until next time, don't forget to get outside and find your own adventure.